Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Pigwater25 here, and today I am continuing a series I had forgotten so long about. I think the last time I uploaded videos of these was like May, and I was running short on ideas. Yeah, it's my top 10 bucket list entries. Now, the odd part is that I've had this PowerPoint, this specific keynote, ready since June. I wasn't too confident on it because there's so many good coasters in Europe. I'm gonna list a few honorable mentions right now. Most notably, probably my best honorable mention is Terran. Now, Terran's grown upon me, compared to other of these, because I've heard lots of good reviews about it. Airtime, bank turns, head choppers, thematic elements, especially multi-launch. I just heard really good things about Terran. And you cannot forget all of the great B&Ms, like the inverts being like Osiris or Osiris, Nemesis especially, Katun, Black Mamba, and you can't forget about some other B&Ms like Dragon Khan and Silver Star being the other hyper in Europe, particularly. Other B&M hyper, and the other ones in this list. So we have Silver Star, and if you know the other one, it's going to be in this list. So yeah, that's my honorable mentions. There's so many good coasters to choose from, and I also can't forget some of the good GCIs like El Toro, Woden Timber Coaster. I can't forget about all the great GCIs there as well. But I personally preferred the other types of wooden coasters that are in the park. We're gonna get to number 10 though, because those are higher on the list. Number 10 is Wildfire Mega Coaster. This is located at Europa Park and is honestly, I've heard lots of people say that it is the best ride there, competing with Silver Star and Woden Timber Coaster. I mean, this is considered one of Mac's finest works. It's a single launch, 62 mile per hour launch, 4 inversions, and 3,500 feet of track of it. There's a lot going. It is the star attraction of Europa Park, according to some. I mean, I've heard lots of good things about Wildfire. They've done lots of tests for future models on Wildfire. And this is Mac's signature crowd. This is like their mascot coaster here. I feel like this is the mascot coaster for Mac rides. Like, sure, they have all the Wild Mice, and sure, they have a bunch of other family coasters, and they have another entry on this list somewhere else. But this one is probably their signature coaster. And considering they've already cloned it several times, this is the original. Number 9 is iSpeed from Mirabilandia in Italy. It's the second Intamin Blitz coaster ever created following Maverick. Quality coaster in my top 3 rides ever. Well, I think that's still true, actually. Even like 3 months later, it's still true. Even nearly 4 months later, Maverick's still in my top 3. Look, just you don't know where. You could probably figure it out, though. This coaster features a 75 mile per hour launch, up a 180-foot top hat, and a straight down drop, 2 inversions, and a minute ride time. I personally think this is Mirabilandia's best ride. Katun came close, but I personally think I'll enjoy iSpeed more than Katun. And also Divergent as well, or Divertical. Whatever the water coaster there is, that's really unique. And it's the only entry on this list that'll be from Italy. Number 8 is the Smiler. Pushing the safety/maintenance record aside, this does not stop me from getting a ride on the loopiest coaster in the world. 14 inversions with 2 chain lifts and one of the most bizarre themes on a coaster ever. Its theme is so devious, maniacal, and malevolent. I love the theme. I've heard that lots of bits of audio and theming have been removed after the accident back in early June. But I mean, the Smiler still goes on. Maybe that was even last year that the accident happened. I don't remember. I think it was maybe last year. Yeah, I think it was last year. Well, it's been a whole year. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuck in thought now, but this is truly a ride for the ages. And if it ends up being a failure like Son of Beast, we'll at least have the memory of Smiler for trying 14 inversions of being the prototype Gerstlauer Infinity, if I remember correctly. And its theme. We always remember the secret weapon this was announced with. I forget which one. SW6, SW7, one of those. Number 7 is Balder. In my opinion, personally, one of the worst of the Intamin prefabricated woodies. I mean, but that is not a bad title by any means. Intamin prefab woodies are excellent. This is the first wooden coaster on this list, and it will not be the last. This ride features 58 mile per hour speeds, 118 feet of height, airtime literally everywhere. Everything has airtime on this, and 3,500 feet of wooden greatness. And it's a prefab. It's smoother than some steel coasters. I'm just speaking from futuristics, and this is the first of two entries from Liseberg. Oh, speak of the devil. Yeah, we have the second entry from Liseberg right after the Helix. Probably the keystone of Mac's work, in my opinion. Mac's probably made their best work with Helix. 7 inversions, 2 launches, 2 minutes of ride time, 62 miles per hour. This ride has almost anything you need to offer. This thing is fantastic. I've heard Liseberg overall is a great park, and definitely one of the premier attractions in Sweden. Not my favorite coaster from Sweden, though. You'll see that later in the list. But just Helix, oh my goodness, this thing looks phenomenal. Even out the gate you're flying. It's just crazy, this thing. I really gotta go back and watch some of those POVs, because this is gonna be fun. I think Helix is the best coaster at the park, but I think this is all personal preference as well. I mean, I said it at the front, there's lots of rides I prefer, or not prefer, but lots of rides that I want to go on. Like anything, even a crappy Aero Looper I probably want to go on, even if it's just for the +1. Hell, I'll even go on Gudrix, if I'm butchering that pronunciation, I feel like, just for the one-up, and say that I've ridden the worst coaster as voted in 2012. Number 5 is Goliath at Walibi Holland. Now, this is smaller than most other large coasters in the entry. At 155 feet, 65 miles per hour, it just packs a punch. This thing is considered usually like maybe a junior Millennium Force. This thing is just, I've heard airtime everywhere. The size does not matter on this. This is a highly credited coaster, and I think arguably the best coaster in the Netherlands. So yeah, that's definitely a record there. And the green and purple, that's a very odd color scheme. Maybe that's on King Ka as well. I don't know. But it's just, I think this was installed when Six Flags was in control of what is now Walibi. They had Walibi Belgium and Walibi Holland. This clearly got the upper hand, Walibi Holland. So yeah. Number 4 is Colossus, the first prefabricated wooden ever built, and probably I think one of the biggest wooden coasters to date. I think this prefab is the best due to the classic out and back layout with the double helix finale and airtime everywhere. Yeah, I don't know if it's floater, ejector, how good it is, whatever it is, it's airtime and lots of it. I could just picture the airtime and this being blissful. I'm not sure if my description will be right, but this airtime just sounds blissful. Look at all this. It's one of the biggest wooden coasters to date. I think it's like 180, 190 feet or something. Definitely cracking the over 150 mark for wooden coasters. It's ridiculous how big this thing is. So, I mean, size doesn't really matter too much. It's a good part of it, but size doesn't matter too much, especially when you got coasters like Maverick. So yeah, Colossus. I think this is my personal favorite prefab wooden coaster, as I said. And we'll move on now. Number 3 is Expedition geforce. This, according to the Mitch Hawker poll of 2013, this was the best steel coaster. Only standing at 114 feet, and it's just widely recognized for its intense forces, maximum airtime, and just a lot of other stuff. Bank turns, tight turns, whatever you want to call it. This thing kind of looks underwhelming from the POV, but I guess the ride experience can look so much better, because everything in the POV looks different. And also, how much do you want to bet this is the reason most foreigners come here? I don't think foreigners come here because they're in the air. I think foreigners come here for Expedition geforce. Most of their foreign attendance is coaster enthusiasts riding this thing, because it gets so many freaking awards. Like, my goodness. This thing is just crazy, honestly. And this was originally my number 1, but I realized that I'm using personal opinion more. And my personal opinion says I want to ride Wildfire more. The first RMC in Europe, it will be a quality craft. And at the time this PowerPoint was created, Wildfire was not yet open. I think it was under. I think they were finishing up, and then it had that recall with the trains. But Wildfire, it's great. 3 inversions, tied for the most in a wooden coaster ever. 12 moments of airtime, 70-mile-per-hour speeds, and it is the fastest wooden coaster in Europe, second tallest in the world. This ride is sure to be a top-notch attraction. So many people are probably flocking to the zoo. Like, zoos and roller coasters work together so well if you install something like this. I feel like it. I'm just babbling at this point. I just am just dying inside in order to get a ride on this. But my personal number one, if you know me, I have a soft spot for Raging Bull. If you know me, I put a B&M Hyper in my top 5 every time. If you know me, I would want to ride Shambhala the most. I love B&M Hypers and B&M Gigas especially. They always score really high on mine. This is the tallest, fastest, and possibly longest B&M Hyper to date. It will be an instant top 5 craft. Even when I have 200, 300 credits, this thing will be a top 10 attraction. I have a feeling I will love Shambhala and will re-ride it as much as I physically possibly can. Just dwarfs Dragon Con. They reach speeds of 83 miles per hour, not 249 feet, with over a mile, or nearly a mile of track. This thing is the tallest thing at Port Aventura, or at least until the nearby Ferrari lands open. And this is basically the premier amusement attraction of Spain. This is the amusement work of Spain. The theme park works of Spain, the fruits of their labor, right here in Shambhala. And I've heard the airtime of this thing is wicked as well. Floater airtime, tight turns. I mean, look at that inversion on the... Look at that element on the far left side of the left photo. What even is that? It looks like a loop, but it's probably an overbank turn. That looks just so odd. I can't even tell where it comes from. What is that? Oh my goodness. That's just... Oh, I've gotten so hyped about this. I really want to ride Shambhala. I love all these coasters. All these coasters here, all of them are going to be great. And they'll probably instantaneously... Like, this is the finest works of Europe right here. This is what Europe is known for in the coaster community. A lot of these. Whether it be for great reasons, like geforce, Wildfire, Nemesis, Terran, or you have some of the smaller underrated rides like Ice Speed, Balder, Goliath, and then you also have some questionable rides like Smiler. But still great nonetheless. I mean, honestly, all these rides are great, and I had such a hard time choosing them. I literally had everything in different order. I think Smiler was in the top 5 at one point. Balder was like 8th or 9th place. Helix was like... Okay, Helix hasn't changed very much. Goliath used to be number 2. Colossus was number 3. geforce was number 1. Wildfire used to be like number 4 or 3. And then Shambhala just moved to the top because I love B&M Hyper so much. They are my favorite type of coaster model. Just, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Next video will most certainly be part 5 of the top 100 Coaster Countdown Bonanza, which will be covering entries number 70 through 61. So we're going to start diving into the realm of some good coasters, and even some more from my home park. So let's get this going. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Feel free to be active on the video. Sorry for the dog in the background. My other dog in the backyard saw a squirrel. He likes this weather. So yeah, I hope you guys have all enjoyed. We're almost at October, so get hyped for that. Halloween season's probably kicked in for most theme parks. And as always, peace.